Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Linda Sue Plants for You. Today I am going to try and tackle this strawberry begonia. I've been talking about it for quite some time. I know it's going to be very challenging, but I need to repot it. It needs repotting badly. And I've been trying to come up with different ideas and ways that I can get this done without entangling all of the growth that's happened on this plant. And I'm going to try to get a close-up here for you. But it's a beautiful plant, and it's like Velcro almost. That is the pot, and as you can see, those leaves are just packed in there. It's packed solid. And then as you follow down the stand, you can see all of the growth that's happened. And what I'm worried about is I don't want the strands that are hanging down to get entwined with each other any more than they already are, and I'm just not sure how I'm going to accomplish that. So I thought what I would do is I'm going to take and put paper toweling on the top of the plant, and then I'm going to layer the strands that are hanging down on top of that paper towel, and I'm going to kind of layer it like a sandwich. And hopefully that will keep them from getting entangled together. Because once they touch, it's really difficult, almost impossible to get them apart. And I don't want to end up with a bunch of like loop-de-loop things all around. I love the way it's hanging right now. So that is going to be my accomplishment for today. And I am going to get this set up. I'm not going to film the layering, but I am going to film the repotting. So I'm going to start working on the layering, and then I'll be back and show you the rest of the process. Okay? So bear with me. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Now, as you can see, this right here is the plant. And I have that covered in paper towels because I'm separating the tendrils or whatever that hang down. I'm trying to separate from each other so they don't get tangled. So now I'm going to attempt to get this out of the old pot. And before I do that, I'm going to let you know the botanical name for this plant is actually, it's Saxifraga stolonifera. And I'll try and put that on the screen. I'm not real good at doing that during editing process, but I'll give it a shot today. But that is the proper name, the botanical name. Even though they call this a begonia, a strawberry begonia, it really is not from the begonia family. So just a little info for you there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and lift this whole piece out of the pot, if I can. Oh, and look at that. And look at the roots down there. Oh my goodness. Oh no. This is what I was afraid of. Okay. I'm just going to get it in there. I guess I'll just have to spend the rest of the day untangling the plant, but that is what I was worried about. There is a ton of new growth under here. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. And it's very root bound, very root bound. But it did come out in one solid ball, and I'm not going to mess with that. The roots are going to find their way out to the new growth. It's not the roots are not encircled. And you know, when you come across something like that, in my experience, it's best to try and pull them apart a little bit, is to try to retrain them and letting the plant know it's okay, you know, for you to put your feelers out there and fill up the rest of the pot when they're very entangled in a circle, because sometimes they just continue to do that then. So in that case I would have done this, but this is not that. The roots that are packed in here are all still sticking out of the dirt, the ends of them, so they're going to feel out into the new soil. And I apologize for calling it dirt. I know some do get offended when I do that, so because it's not dirt, it's a soil substrate. So I try to remember that, but I don't always. All right, I'm going to fill in all the way around, and hopefully oh yeah, we got quite a mess already, folks. Don't know how I'm going to get this untangled. And that's why I kept putting this off, because I really knew that that was going to be an issue, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. But I couldn't leave it in here the way it was, because I was watering it almost every day, and that's a sure sign that your plant is needing to be repotted. And that's pretty much with any plant. If you're watering a plant and it's looking drooping and looking like it needs more water, and you're doing that on every day or every other day, there's a good chance that that plant is root bound and you need this time to repot. Now, sometimes people will repot for other reasons. For instance, if you have a plant that you like the size of it and you don't want to put it in a bigger pot, I have in the past cut back on the root system, although I really don't like to do that. But if that is your end goal, then you can cut some of the roots off and you know, make the root ball a little smaller, and then put it back in that pot with fresh soil, and that will help too. But if it's pot bound or root bound, that's just not good for your plant. They like to have room to grow and breathe, and got a little bit of dried leaves in there, but not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So maybe I did do it at the right time. I hope so. And I hope this plant is going to be happy in this pot for a long time. I have found it is a fast grower. I have taken cuttings from this for other people, my local friends and family, that they have to come to my house to pick it up. But I have given away a lot of, I've taken pieces from this plant and put it in a bigger pot and stuck it in my south window in my living room, and it grows just like this. Within 4 to 6 months I got a full plant like this. So I think I would consider that a very fast, prolific grower. I have noticed that when I tried to put this plant in the south window in my dining room, it was starting to decline. And I know I've said this in the past, and I don't understand the phenomenon behind it, but for some reason, sometimes plants just don't like to be moved. They don't like certain spots, and even though it was the same house, same temperature, just a few feet away, it didn't like it in that window. So I have found the absolute best spot for this plant as far as making new taking the babies and making new cuttings has been the middle of that south wall in my living room. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd appreciate it if you leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoy the video and you want to, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And if you're not a subscriber yet and you would like to see more videos from me, then hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'm glad you came today, and hopefully you'll come back again. Alright, now, I think we're pretty close here. And I couldn't go any bigger. I might have even gone a little bit bigger than this pot, except it wouldn't fit in that beautiful stand that my husband made for me. And I'd really like to leave it in there. Now this plant, I talked about putting my cuttings in the south window. This particular plant I have in my east window, and it's not even in front of the window, and it's growing great. So, but I do have artificial lighting, and maybe I should take a moment to touch on that too. There's been quite a few videos recently on lighting, probably because we're going into winter. I know that some people really prefer the grow lights, and I'm not trying, I don't want to step on any toes here. Whatever you're used to using and you like it, that's great for you. I personally do not like the colored lights, and I also do not like spending a lot of money for a grow light, a white grow light, because it says it's a grow light. I have used exclusively LED bulbs that I get, I think they're 4 for $6.99 at Walmart. And they have the green box and the blue box, their daylight light and the duller light, or brighter light, I'm sorry. One has kind of a bluish hue to it, like an office light would, and one has more of a yellow light. And it is really whatever is your preference. The important thing I think to remember about those is you want to get an equivalent to a 100-watt bulb. And that's what I use throughout my house. And I have added in the past year 23 light fixtures. And part of the reason is because our trees have grown up around our house, and I don't get anywhere near the natural light that I used to get. So I slowly but surely added fixtures, and as I was adding those fixtures, I was worried about my electric bill going up. But at the same time that I did that, I replaced all of my incandescent bulbs with the LED bulbs from Walmart, and my electric bill has gone down $28 this year. So it's a very economical way of keeping your plants thriving during the winter months, and I would just say give it a try. Try one box, $6.99. Very inexpensive. And if your plant seems like it's declining, you can there's plenty of expensive lights out there that you can purchase. I'm just saying, it's, in my experience, it's not necessary. So to each his own, but just some information there for you. Okay, I think we got one more spot here. And for those of you that saw my repotting video of my pilea peperomoides, if you haven't seen it, go back and take a look at that video. It's a beautiful plant, and I got it as a tiny baby, and it's now very big, very healthy. But the reason I'm bringing that up in this video is because I just repotted that not too long ago, And for those of you that saw that, you'll remember how nervous I was because there was no easy way to get that out of there. And I could hear breakage and I could hear like a crunching sound, and it was just killing me to have to do that. But I had no choice, so I went forward and repotted it. And for at least a week or two, it looked like it was declining. And I was so sad. I was so worried that I was going to lose it. But I just babied it and kept a close eye on it, and suddenly the leaves started perking up. I did lose about 5 or 6 leaves, but there's so many on it you can't even notice that. And but I can tell you it does not like to be repotted. At least mine doesn't. But it is, you'll all be happy to know, it is doing well. It has perked up, and it looks like it did before I repotted it, and I've been getting a ton of new growth because now it's got room to grow, so yay. All right. Let's see what we got going here. Okay, I am not going to try to attempt to do this on video because I have a hunch it's going to take me a long time to untangle this mess. But what I will do is come back and show you the finished product, okay? So this is it. It's in its new pot. I'm going to stick that back in the plant stand, and then I'm going to sit there and untangle it until it looks the way it should look, and hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that. So keep your fingers crossed for me, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, and for the final chapter, she is back in her new pot and back in her stand, and I think she's going to be okay. She looks about the same, maybe even a little better as before I repotted her. I didn't lose too many of the babies, thank goodness. So it was a success, yay. Now I did have quite a bit of some fallout here from this plant. I'm going to show you. That is what fell off, and most of those, well, I'm going to say about half of those are dried leaves that just didn't get enough water, probably because it needed to be repotted and the water wasn't getting to it, I think. But there's a lot of babies in there, little green. You can see the clusters. I'll try to get a close-up here. And I am going to pick those out and put them in another pot that I have started for my granddaughter. And I'm positive that they will root quickly because they always do for me. And once I pull the living ones, the nice clusters that you can see, here's one. It's a good size, and it's almost all green. So I'm going to repot that, or I'm sorry, add those to the pot that I have started. Oh my goodness, let me get back out here. Apologize for that. So, it was a success. Thank you all for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, you know what to do, right? So I'll be looking forward to hearing from you and hearing what you have to say and hearing your thoughts. And if you have anything to add, any comments on whether or not you have gone through the same process and how you did it, I would welcome to hear about that too. Otherwise, we're going to call it a day. I thank you all again for coming, and stay tuned because I'm going to have several more repotting videos coming up here very shortly. So hopefully you'll be back. and we'll see you soon. Have a good day. And don't forget your Planty Kindness Project. Be nice to somebody today. Make a difference. If you want to hear more about that, go to Pammy's Planty Things. She has that YouTube channel, and also she's on Instagram. Alright then. Have a great day, and if the sun is shining by you like it is by me, I hope that you can enjoy your sunshine as much as I do. Alright. Bye now.